One of the most important things to remember when you're setting goals is that you need to be absolutely clear on what you want to achieve. And one of the most powerful things that you can do is spend more time figuring out what that is.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm here with Mark right now.
What's going on, guys?
We are about to film, but I just wanted to make a short video, talk to you a little bit about goal setting, because we are talking a lot about the power of setting goals, the power of defining your vision, why it's so important, why it's something that you have to do. You know, many people say that goal setting doesn't work, but usually those people are those with eviction notices and, you know, unhealthy bodies and unhealthy minds. And I notice a pattern that those people who claim that goals do work are the ones who are successful in many realms of life. So, Mark, I want to ask you about some of the main building blocks of goal setting. What would you say is the most important thing to remember when you set goals?
It's a good question. I would say one of the most important things to remember when you're setting goals is that you need to be absolutely clear on what you want to achieve. And one of the most powerful things that you can do is spend more time figuring out what that is. See, what we tend to do is that we become in a rush when we want to look for goals. We just think of, oh, this would be nice. And we tend to focus on materialistic goals very quickly. I want to have this, I want to have this, I want to have this. But it doesn't really give us this well-rounded approach. So one of the most powerful things that you can do is actually start to think about all areas of life. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? Then what do you want to have? And what this does, it's an interesting technique, because then your mind starts to think about you as an individual in all areas of life. You start to think about, okay, the spiritual side. Then you start to think about relationships. You start to think about things that you wouldn't normally think about. Spend some time, even if it takes you 10 days. Doesn't matter how long it takes you, but when you get clear on your why and you think about all these different areas of life, you tend to have more clarity. I think in goal setting, if you don't have that clarity, the flip side, or the dangerous side, is that you spend a lot of time, 6 months, a year, working on something that isn't actually aligned to your true values. And if you think about it from that perspective, time is the only thing that we can't get back. It's the most precious commodity that we have. So why would you waste time on goals that are not as important to you when you can do the groundwork first?
Exactly, that's a great one. Because one very good analogy is that if you get stuck on this lonely, deserted island and you want to get to the sea, you could just be hacking through the bush with a bunch of machetes. You could be working really hard, but if you go the wrong direction, you will never get to the water, right? It's better to get on that palm tree, look around and figure, you know what, we are going the wrong direction, let's go over there, and then hack yourself through the jungle into the right direction. Before I ask you the next question, I just want to ask you guys to post a comment and let us know what is the most important goal that you currently have, okay? So let me ask you this, Mark. What would you say is the biggest myth, in your opinion, about goal setting? Apart from the fact that people say they don't work, right?
Biggest myth would that they have to be fixed. See, we think that when we're setting goals, that you start off with your goal, that has to be the only thing that you do. But you have to understand that as you evolve and as you grow, you change as an individual. So it's okay for your goals to change. It's okay for you to pivot. The worst thing you can do is spend 6 months, 12 months on a goal when you know in your gut, you know in your heart that something has changed, I need to pivot, I need to do something different. But you're so infatuated that, no, I set the goal, it has to happen this way. And we kind of obsess over the way this has happened, and we've kind of created this in our mind. But when you go into the mindset of that, well, that's just a myth, and things don't have to be fixed. You can pivot along the way.